This week I'm flying from Madrid to Oslo with low-cost carrier Norwegian, but it all feels a little bit elevated, admittedly if you pay for it. There's plush leather seating, a relatively new 737 MAX 8, hot onboard meals with beers too, and great views landing into Oslo. So what are you waiting for? Jump aboard Norwegian and come along for the flight. Well, bienvenidos from Madrid, welcome to this week's video, and over my left and right shoulder is something I've never spotted. I must be living in my own little bubble sometimes. As we pulled into Terminal 2 this morning to depart our flight today, I noticed this very old historic Douglas DC-9 that is literally dumped in a park, literally off the main road where your taxis and your buses drop you off, and it's behind you here. You can come and have a look at it. I do believe you can actually board it. There are stairs up to it, but it all seems to be fenced off at the moment. So if you have any more information, or you're Madrid-based, or you work at the airport, drop some comments in the section below and let me know. So that leads us nicely to today's video. We're not flying on a Douglas DC-9, that would be a throwback, but today we're on a Boeing 737 MAX 8 with their low-cost carrier Norwegian, flying from Madrid's Terminal 2 up to Oslo in Norway. So without further ado, let's get inside and see how Norwegian perform in 2026. At the time of recording this, Norwegian depart from Madrid's Terminal 2 and the flight is at the perfect time in my opinion, 10:50 AM. It means you can still snag a bit of a lie-in, but also arrive into Oslo at a reasonable time too. So all inside Madrid's Terminal 2, rather strange and rather interesting. I've never had this before in any kind of European airport, but security on the main entrance checking your boarding pass to allow you in. Not too sure if that's the standard for Terminal 2. I haven't flown from T2 for quite some time, normally in the dreaded T4S. So yeah, interesting one, but we're going to go find the desks now. I don't actually have anything to check in. I was just hoping there was a pesky Norwegian kind of luggage tester to pop the case in, because I do believe I'm slightly over the dimensions. Such is life, you play these games. I'm not one of those people to cry if I get caught out later on and have to pay the fee. I have to pay the fee, but I don't really have a super small carry-on case anymore. My level 8 one is just slightly above the dimensions that Norwegian allow. They are slightly smaller than kind of British Airways or your full service carriers. So let's get to the Norwegian desks, see if there's one of those there, and then we'll go through security and try and find some form of priority pass lounge. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't fit. Oh well, let's see what happens. Let's have a little bet now. Do we think Norwegian are going to be on it and charge me, or do you think we might get away with it? Who knows? I've heard mixed reviews of Norwegian. I've heard a few people get away with it, a few people have been sort of stung. I guess it kind of boils down to probably how busy the flight is, and also depending on which staff member is doing it. If you've got someone that can't be bothered and just wants to get the boarding done, or if you've got somebody that wants to be a real stickler for the rules. Either way, look, I'm not the sort of person to moan. I don't like these people that come on here and moan and say, oh, I've been caught out. If you're willing to fly with a bag that's bigger, you're willing to run the risk. It is what it is. But let's see what happens. I've got my rucksack and my case. I have paid for carry-on case, so that should change things because you just get a personal item with Norwegian, but I've paid extra for a carry-on case during the booking process. So hopefully we get away with it and someone takes a little bit of pity on me. If not, in the hold it goes. It was then time to head downstairs and through the security here at Madrid's Terminal 2, which admittedly was very impressive. Just a 2 to 3 minute process from start to finish, which was great for Barajas, and once through the other side I followed the signs to the VIP lounge, where I can gain access with my Priority Pass membership. Well, good morning from the Puerta de Alcalá lounge here at Madrid's T2. Probably absolutely slaughtered the pronunciation of that, and I sincerely apologise in advance. As you know, Spanish not my strong point. But if there's one thing Madrid can do well, it is airport lounges. On the whole, the airport run ones are often pretty decent, and this is no exception today. It's a really nice lounge, and it's quite busy, but it doesn't feel overcrowded. Lots and lots of seating areas, from dining tables to more relaxed areas like sofas, etc. So yeah, I'm really impressed. So let me take you on a full tour, and then we'll board that flight with Norwegian up to Oslo. And I'm really looking forward to it, to be fair. It's an airline you've long asked me to cover. I remember the good old days when Norwegian had their low-cost 787 operation out of Gatwick, operating really low-cost long-haul routes. Sadly, that went under because it wasn't financially stable. We've still got one low-cost long-haul carrier, and that's Norse, and I am going to try and get on a Norse flight in the future. Who knows how long that will last. I think some of the ex-Norwegian 787s actually went to Norse or ended up at Norse somehow, but that's another story. So not too long before we board the flight up to Oslo, but for now let me take you on a tour of the airport lounge here at Madrid's T2. The lounge is all open plan with large windows, a load of natural light and plenty of seating options dotted around. On the drinks front there's an automated coffee machine, teas from Newby London, a couple of bags of this green sencha found its way into my rucksack, and also this fantastic Zoom X juicing machine for fresh orange juice at the touch of a button. Count me in. Every lounge should have one of these in my opinion, and nothing beats juice that's been squeezed in front of your very eyes. There was also various other fruit juices, smoothies and milk choices available, alongside refrigerated bottled sodas, mixers and bottled waters. There's also a variety of rosé wines on offer, alongside a selection of whites and reds too. There's free pour spirits available for you as well, alongside a huge selection of different refrigerated beers too. On the food front, there's this deli section with smoked salmon, chorizo, lots of different salamis and hams, and other cold cuts too, including this really nice Iberico ham. There's cheese on offer as well, including manchego and queso blanco, and these complement this huge salad selection with lots of Spanish olives on offer too. There's a fresh bread basket and a selection of pre-packaged sandwiches to take with you on the go. There's also this hot food section offering potatoes, sausages, baked beans, really overdone scrambled eggs, vegetable rice and noodle dishes, pies, pasties, pastries and pizza. Not to mention the humble Spanish omelette. There's also a selection of crisps too. On the sweet front there's pastries, 2 different types of donuts, this chocolate and vanilla marble cake, and lemon and chocolate mini muffins. There's this fresh salad section on offer alongside grab and go fruit and a variety of different pasture yogurts available in the fridges. For me, I went for some bread, fruit and this awesome peach jam. It's delicious on bread. And I couldn't resist another glass of that fresh orange juice. Finally, it's also worth mentioning that this place is probably an AvGeek's dream, with lots of viewing points across the entirety of the lounge. So all out the lounge, gonna head down to gate D62, which seems to be a bit of a minefield because they're all going in the opposite direction, and you go left as to where you'd expect D62 to be, and there's nothing there. Nothing like a little bit of Barajas madness. Ah, dearie. But yeah, D62, we're going to be going up to Oslo shortly. Flights coming in about 10 minutes. Very, very quick turnaround for the Norwegian flights. Obviously, following that low-cost model, I think the turnaround time's around 20 minutes, so super speedy. But it's a bit miserable today in Madrid, as you can see. Very grey, and woke up to thunderstorms this morning as well. Loads of rain and lightning and thunder, so glad to be getting out of here, but that means probably one thing: it's going to be quite a bumpy ride, I reckon, out of Madrid this morning. But let's get to gate D62 and get on board this 737 MAX 8 up to Oslo with Norwegian. So, cheeky little gate change down to D66. The Wizz Air can't get a tug, so there we go. I'm sure the Wizz Air staff members in head office won't be very happy that their turnaround time and a late departure has been impacted by the inability to push back, but hey ho, not too far, just 3 gates down to D66, and then hopefully we'll be boarding very shortly to head up to Oslo. And taking us up to Oslo today is this Boeing 737 MAX 8, which was delivered to Norwegian Air Shuttle back in March of 2023. Each Norwegian tailfin features a different pioneer, and today ours shows Knud Rasmussen, the Greenlandic Danish explorer and anthropologist, more commonly known as the father of Eskimoology. Finally, it was time to board the aircraft, and I was in boarding zone A today, with Norwegian putting you into either A, B or C, depending on your ticket type. This 737 MAX 8 is in a 3-3 seating layout, and I've got the window seat today in 21A. So welcome aboard this Norwegian Boeing 737 MAX 8, and call it a bit of a result because I managed to get on board without incurring any further charges, which I'm super happy about. But of course, I said earlier, if they were going to charge me, they were going to charge me. My bag was absolutely oversized and certainly overweight, but we've got away with it today. I was in boarding group A, and like I said earlier, it's A, B and C, so I feel the lower group you are, sort of B, or probably the latter half of C, they might start to scrutinise. I got boarding group A by buying a seat and also buying a bit of lunch, so we're going to test out Norwegian's lunch service. I think it's the sort of Nordic meatballs and mash kind of combo, so we'll give that a whirl in a bit. But yeah, settle in, strap yourself in, and I'll take you on a full seat tour as always. The legroom is great. It doesn't feel low cost to me at all. In fact, there's also a recline function to the seat, not to mention this adjustable leather headrest. There's a standard drop-down tray table, literature storage pocket, USB-A charging port, and under-seat AC power too. There's also overhead reading lights and personal air vents, a pull-out coat hook, and manual window blinds. Nothing about this experience so far feels low cost. Low-lying thunderstorms are a thing of the past now. We have bright blue sky, which is always very nice. So yeah, not much to report so far. I'm pretty impressed, to be fair, that the low-cost carrier that is Norwegian is offering reclinable leather chairs with pretty decent legroom, actually far above, or certainly feels far above the average. I'm 6 foot and can actually pop my feet out in front of me quite comfortably, so that's quite rare. So as we cruise up towards our final altitude, our cruising altitude, I'll see what happens next. I can see a couple of crew in the galley now, sort of preparing for the service. I'm not too sure when my meal will be served, if it comes first or last or later on the flight or straight away. It'll be interesting to see how Norwegian play it, and I'm going to take a look as well at their paid offering, because when I pre-ordered the meal, it didn't come with a drink. Now I've come pre-armed with a glass bottle of peach juice, which I stole from the lounge this morning. But let's have a little look into Norwegian's paid-for service as well. You get nothing for free on board in terms of service, so everything has to be purchased. There's lots on offer, all at fairly reasonable prices in my opinion, and even though I have a pre-ordered meal on the way, I couldn't resist marking a few items that I wanted to try. Well, it seems I spoke too soon about those thunderstorms. I do have a habit of jinxing myself. That's the seatbelt sign. It's quite moderate turbulence actually. Those kind of clouds have come back, so it is what it is. Service is suspended currently, which obviously makes complete and utter sense. I don't fancy wearing my Swedish or Nordic meatballs on my lap. So yeah, it just came out of nowhere really. But it always makes me smile, the thresholds different crew have for popping the seatbelt signs on. You have some flight crew that the slightest thing they'll pop them on, and then you have some that pretty ride it out like this crew. You know, nothing's been unsafe, but they've just rode it out a bit and then thought, actually, we'll pop them on, so we will ride it out. So that's the meal service concluded, and you know what? Norwegian have pretty much pulled it out of the bag. It was a quite impressive experience. So it comes in this kind of cardboard box, and you don't get any drink with it, which I think is a little bit of a miss for Norwegian. I think they could at least include a 250ml bottle of water or a small juice or something, a tea or coffee. But hey ho, I paired it with the crisp and beer combo. So I went for the Oslo Brewing Company Norwegian Blonde. It's like a crisp session ale, really, really tasty, really clean, really crisp, as it said, and it was slightly cheaper in the long run to pair that with the combo, so I got a bag of the Norwegian salted fjord crisps, which were delicious. Who knew Norwegian salt had so many different depths of flavour to pretty standard salt? So yeah, I was pretty impressed. On the side, to start, in the prepaid meal service, was a Sunny Vibes salad. Now, Sunny Vibes, it wasn't much Sunny Vibes going on. It was cumin spiced kind of seedgate with a few edamame beans. It wasn't great, to be honest with you. It was palatable, but not a great starter. There was a white bread roll that wasn't heated. It was in a plastic pack, but it did come with Norwegian butter, and it was served at temperature. It wasn't stale or cold in any way, and the butter was very spreadable, so big plus point for Norwegian there. And then on to the main. So I thought I was getting the meatballs and mash. Turns out I read that wrong. So for me today it was the braised beef in black pepper sauce with potato dauphinoise, French beans and sun-dried tomatoes in a kind of beefy gravy. And it was really, really good. It was fantastic. I can't really find any faults with it. The beef just melted, and the black pepper sauce and the gravy was really good. So yeah, it was a tasty dish, and it was served piping hot. It's the first in-flight meal I've had in a while where I've had to sit and let it cool down, so props to Norwegian for that. And then the upgraded meal gets you two desserts. So the first one was a Lily O'Brien's double chocolate mousse, and that was a kind of white creamy chocolate mousse on top, and underneath was a milk chocolate mousse. Really tasty, nice and chilled, and a good consistency. And then there was a side of two Lily O'Brien's chocolates in a cardboard box, and one was a treacle tart and the other was a creme brulee. Both were really tasty and good quality chocolates. So all in all, for saying this is a paid-for meal service, yes, it's the upgraded meal service, yes, you don't get it included on any form of Norwegian ticket, it is still a low-cost carrier. I thought it was pretty impressive, and I'm glad I paid for it really. I needed a bit of lunch. I've got a lot of work to do when I get to Norway, so I thought, you know what, let's eat on board and show you guys what Norwegian offer. So I wouldn't say I'd do it again, probably, but I wouldn't be put off doing it. The quality is certainly there. So props to Norwegian. I'm going to sit back, relax, drink my Norwegian blonde beer and take in the sights. But yeah, a pretty impressive meal service. I then decided to check on the toilets. Two of them are located towards the rear and one at the front on this 737 MAX 8. They were pretty clean and well stocked with horseless soap. Who knew it was possible to go into a food coma on a low-cost flight? Turns out it's possible, thanks to Norwegian, if you pay for it anyway, at least. So we've got about 2 hours and 40-odd minutes to go before we touch down into Oslo, so I've decided I'm going to get my head down and try and get a bit of sleep. So yeah, I'll catch up with you in an hour or so's time and tell you what Norwegian seat's like for a bit of the old sleep action. It doesn't feel too uncomfortable at all, to be fair, and it is quite supportive, so I'm hoping I might be able to catch 40 winks. Serves me right for popping those Somnipods 3 in, because I've just woke up to a PA to say that we're starting our descent. I'll be on the ground in 30 minutes. Oh well, these things happen. It was certainly a comfortable sleep. The only slight negative is the headrest to the left of me. It doesn't stay in place at all. Slightest bit of pressure and it kind of pushes back, so you did have to kind of sleep straight on. You couldn't kind of lie left or right. I don't know if it's just this particular seat or if it's all of them, but yeah, we've got about 30 minutes to go before we touch down into Oslo, so no real complaints from me. It's been a really comfortable, pleasant experience. It's certainly not felt low cost, although you do have to factor in that all the extras I've got, be it the onboard case, be it the meal, be it the beer and the crisps, etc., have all been paid for, including the very seat that I'm sat in now. I don't regret really paying for any of them, and I think they are competitively priced. However, you could just pay for the very lowest fare and not have any extras and just treat it as a Ryanair. I think the lowest fare on this flight from Madrid up to Oslo was about £75. So again, you can't knock that for a 3 and a bit hour flight. So yeah, it's been super comfortable. It's been a really nice trip. The crew have been really friendly and it's flown by, absolutely flown by. So pun unintended. So thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed your look around low-cost carrier Norwegian. Next week, a really funky video. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel for that one. In the meantime, keep safe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. So let's put this into perspective. For £147 I got the flight, seat selection, cabin baggage, a hot meal, snacks, drinks and a genuinely pleasant journey from Madrid to Oslo. Spread across a flight time of just over 3 hours, that's roughly £49 an hour, and this is still supposed to be a low-cost model. Truthfully, I've come away pretty impressed with Norwegian today. The booking process was straightforward, the flight left on time, the crew were really friendly, the food exceeded my expectations, and perhaps most importantly, the airline simply delivered exactly what it promised. In a world where low-cost airlines often focus on what they can take away, Norwegian seems more interested in what it can still offer to the passenger. I'll sign off in Norwegian today, it seems pretty fitting, and that sounds something like Vi ses neste gang, or as we say in English, I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss another upload. Plenty more aviation, travel and hotel content coming your way. See you in the next one.